All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome, one and all, to today's episode of the 2025 World Championship of 3D CAD Speed Modeling. This is where we gather users of 3D CAD from all over the world using all different 3D CAD systems. We pit them against one another, and we challenge them to find out who is the fastest 3D CAD speed modeler on Earth, fastest in the world. And as always, as we are getting started, we just want to take a moment and say hello to all of you, the most amazing chat ever. We do have some outstanding heavy hitters here in the chat today. We've got our friends Phil, Fusion Phil, came in last week with a really nice contribution to the community. Dom Linder, he's gonna be rocking out today in the tournament. Big B from AZ, MrAlex, who's also gonna be competing. He's gonna be in our first match today. Guntis is here. Welcome, my friend. Good luck to all the runners. NGen Squared is here. And Eric is here. Hello, my friend. Interesting battles today. Greetings to everyone. Oh, they're gonna be good today. They're gonna be really good today. Gray is here, our friend from the Too Tall Toby community. And Fusion Phil JitCat Cam says Fusion is going to win and even put a donation in here. Thank you, my friend. He says, I'll give 10x subs for each Fusion win today. Yo, high pressure on Max and Neil Z, our Fusion runners. So thank you very much, Fusion Phil. And if you guys are not familiar with Phil's YouTube channel, be sure to check it out. He gives a ton of valuable tips and tricks on Fusion, and also from the world of machining and manufacturing, kind of a different point of view than what you might get from like a 3D printer or a CAD person like myself. Het Patel is here. Welcome, my friend. Nomer is here. Welcome. Victor K, the world champion of 3D CAD Speed Modeling 2023, is here in the chat with all of you. And Sebastian is here, #1 seed in this tournament. Serial Sal, #1 predictor of the Wheel of Fate, is here in the chat today. Jay Miles is here in the chat. Lotos is here. Mesa Makes is here. Says hello. Everybody say hello to Mesa Makes, Mr. Mesa's third period. Hello. Thank you for joining us. And Rambros Workshop, the 2024 world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, is here in the chat. Rockcrawler is here in the chat. Says good luck to everybody. Ludwig is in the chat. And Vicky Chong is in the chat holding down the admin mod role. And we got BSK in the chat, says hello. Neil Z is going to be competing today. Good luck. Hope nobody's CAD crashes today. Yes. MD is here in the chat, says hi, fellas. And Jim Yu is here. Jim Yu Kerberos, best of luck to all the runners today. And hello. Bogdan is here in the chat. Welcome. FPV Kev is here. Enjoyed the members only stream. Watched it today at work. Yo, that was a lot of fun. Guys, we 3D modeled this shade here for my action cam, so when I go out on the field and I need to record long sessions, the camera doesn't cook. So we just 3D printed a little shade here. So we did a live stream where we showed how to model that up using some in-context modeling up the existing parts and then modeling around them for a quick prototype. We did the whole thing, and I think we shot for 90 minutes, and I think we finished the stream in like 75 minutes. So from nothing to a 3D model shipped over to the printer, 75 minutes, and we ended up with this cool thing that actually ended up working. It didn't break when I went to stick it together. Guys, you can check that out on the live streams in the YouTube channel. Simon is here. What's up? La la la. What's up? Welcome. And Mark UK is here. Says hello. And Dom Linder, of course. Good luck today, Dom. And T+0 is here as well. And Simone says, I discovered this channel a few days ago. Can't stop watching. All right. Thank you. And Felix is here as well. Says hello. Yes. Welcome, one and all. So guys, as always, these tournaments, as we get deeper and deeper into the tournament, some things change. Sometimes what we end up having is a little bit more complexity in the models. Definitely going to have some more complexity in the models. Sometimes what we end up having is some prizes, some extra prizes. Well, today it's a very special day because anybody who wins their match today is going to win a 3D printer. That's pretty big news, right? Thanks to our prize sponsor, Prusa. Anybody who finishes their match today and wins is going to move on to the Final Four, and the Final Four is going to all win a 3D printer. So high stakes today. Good luck to all the runners, and we're going to definitely keep it real here as we are going through this tournament. And of course, the other thing that's always exciting as we get deeper and deeper into these tournaments is we get some amazing co-commentators. And so on that note, I'm excited to introduce today's co-commentator, none other than Aaron Monker. Aaron, welcome to the live stream. How are you doing?
Hey, Toby, thanks so much for having me here. My second appearance, so I feel honored and privileged that I didn't do such a bad job the first time that you actually invited me back. So thank you for having me here. Excited to see the CAD competitions going on today.
Man, we've made it through the round of 16. We've gotten through all 16 of our first batch of 16 runners. We've cut that number in half, and now today we kick off the Elite 8. Our top 8 runners from around the world are going to be competing here today. And Aaron, I understand that you have the title of El Presidente at Pipeline Design. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Some people call me CEO, but you know what? We're a small company here, and it always bugs me a little bit when it's like a company of 3 people. We're 15 people here, but still small. And like, oh, CEO, you know, no. So El Presidente, that's perfect.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what I go by. Yeah.
And of course, PDX is coming. Guys, if you're not familiar with PDX, you got to check it out. Product Development Expo. Vicky's going to drop a link in the chat. You can actually get a little discount if you want to come hang out with Aaron and Vicky and I. But this is your trade show that you have developed, that you have hosted in the past, and that you're hosting again this year. Is that a fair assessment?
That's right. Yep. PDX, the Product Development Expo. I'm super excited for this. Too Tall Toby and his crew, they're going to be a large presence. In fact, they're our official MC at the event. So
let's
show up, and they've got a booth where they'll be doing speed modeling competitions as well as some pro tips for all you CAD users out there. Of course, beyond CAD, we've got all kinds of different training sessions that are relevant to hardware engineers. If you're developing physical products, whether it's a medical device or solar power equipment or an iPhone case, this is the event for you. We've got how to program robots. We've got project management for engineering. We've got scanning and reverse engineering, GD&T, metrology, advanced CAD, you know, on and on and on.
Everything you need to develop your own products.
Yeah. Right.
Everything you need just to develop your own products. That's pretty sweet.
That's right.
So I'm very excited for this event, and I cannot wait for this event. You guys have heard me talking about it a lot during episodes of Model Monday Live. You're going to hear Aaron and I talking about it a lot today. I mean, this is really the place to go if you're an inventor, if you're a developer, if you work in manufacturing, if you work in engineering. This is the place to go. You're going to learn so much over those 2 days. So very excited, and very excited to see you in person. Guys, if you're going to be in Arizona, October 21st, October 22nd, be sure to come to the event. Did I say the dates right?
You got it. October 21st and 22nd. That's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. We're just 2.5 weeks out. And I see Big B from Arizona. The shout out there. Thank you for the shout out, Big B. Hope to see you at PDX in a couple weeks.
I saw that. Yeah. Shout out to AZ. That's right. That's what's up. Well, guys, if you like Arizona and if you like Product Development Expo, be sure to hit the like button on this live stream. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to share and reshare. And of course, be sure to sign up for an account over at tootalltoby.com. We're going to talk more about tootalltoby.com as the live stream proceeds. But don't forget that the Super Chat is open. I did see that earlier in the Super Chat, we had none other than JitCAD Cam, Fusion Phil come in with some Super Chat. This is really a great way to help continue to support the live streams, continue to make sure that these tournaments run. Of course, we have some amazing sponsors for this tournament, but it always goes a long way when we get that support from the community as well. And that's really going to be kind of what sustains us, you know, throughout the years. So thank you so much to the community, to everybody who's done the Super Chat. And let's take a look at how we've gotten to this point of the Elite 8. A few weeks ago, we kicked off the tournament September 5th. We had Jacob versus MrAlex, and it was MrAlex who won his match. And then 2 weeks after that, we saw Gray versus Max, and it was Max. Fusion versus SolidWorks. It was Max using Fusion who came out on top. It was a really interesting first match with Max. I think that what happened was that he actually made one mistake on the model, and then he made a second mistake on the model, and through like some pretty amazing luck, the 2 mistakes canceled each other out, and he ended up getting his mass within tolerance. And it was a tight tolerance, you know, like it was not like plus or minus 10 grams or anything. It was like 0.01 grams or something like that. So that was pretty exciting to watch that match. And then he took down the second one as well, but by modeling accurately. And so very excited to see this match today between Max and MrAlex. Lucky, he was lucky maxing. Yeah, for sure. Rambro says lucky maxing in the chat. Absolutely. And then we saw Dom, longtime friend of the show, expert in manufacturing, going up against Lotos, who's been absolutely crushing it on the speed modeling leaderboards. Dom came out on top in that match. And then a couple weeks ago, we saw Neil Z, Fusion Whiz Kid, Neil Z, going up against James. That was a fun match. We got to see them modeling up that dumbbell, and it was Neil Z who came out on top. Neil Z also showing his sheet metal prowess, which is important. There are some sheet metal models on the Wheel of Fate today. So today we'll see Neil Z versus Dom as well. And then next week, we're going to see Atse, who won his match against Mr. Cho, going up against Sebastian, our #1 seed, SolidWorks versus Katia. And following that match, we're going to see, this one is a big one. It gives me a little bit of goosebumps to think about this match. Earlier this year, we held 2 tournaments, a Spring Open and a Summer Open. And those 2 tournaments were won by Matab and Ricardo Jean. And next week, we're going to see these 2 former tournament winners square off against one another. So, wow. This is going to be an exciting match. Can't wait to see this one go down next week, October 10th. Will you remember where you were on 10/10/2025, Aaron? I'll remember.
That's all I'm going to be thinking about probably for the next year is this day.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of bars throughout the country, throughout the world that are going to be turning off sports and turning on the Matab Ricardo Jean match. It's like Messi versus Ronaldo. You know, it's pretty epic scale here that we're going to be talking about in this CAD vs. CAD tournament. Of course, all these guys are trying to get on that wall of champions. You saw Matab, you saw Ricardo Jean there, Mr. Fancy Pants earlier this year, Rambro's Workshop, Airwick. These are all our former champions. You can visit us at tootalltoby.com/tournaments if you want to view the wall of champions. And of course, congratulations to everyone who's won this thing in the past. And we could not have these tournaments without our amazing sponsors. So I just want to take a second to give a shout out to these sponsors, starting out with our friends over at Byte Systems, bluebyte.biz. So Aaron, what Byte does is they provide turnkey solutions, smarter tools for better engineering. And they have a real specific focus on the world of SolidWorks and PDM customization. They help out our customers with ERP and PLM integration and data migration, but they also help out with creating custom turnkey automated tools within the software. So if there's ever a task that you're doing in SolidWorks or a task that you're doing in PDM that you feel like you and your team have to do over and over and over and over again, well, this is where you can reach out to the team at Byte, and they could save you hours or even hundreds of hours each month just by automating some of those repetitive tasks, like automatically creating a PDF or automatically distributing the information into different folders within your vault. These are the types of custom macros, custom automations that you can create if you work with the team at Byte. But it gets even better than that, Aaron. What's better than giving a person a fish? It's teaching them to fish. And so if you're ready to learn, Byte offers API training videos so that you can learn how to code your own custom macros within SolidWorks and PDM. So if that's something that is of interest to you, be sure to visit this URL. Vicky's going to drop the URL in the chat, and there's even a special bundle option here. If you sign up for that API bundle, you can save 30% with code TooTallToby. Love that code. Love that referral code. So easy to remember.
That's awesome. We've done some SolidWorks automation in the past and literally have saved there's this one customer we had that requires us to provide our files in a very, very specific format. And when you get into large assemblies with hundreds of parts and you have to create the specific PDF and step for all these things, I mean, we save dozens of hours easily just with some macros and scripting. So sounds like what Byte offers is very, very similar. That's awesome. Huge time saver.
Yes. Yeah. When you start getting into automating those tasks, you really, it's very scalable because it could affect your whole team. And speaking of teams, we got to thank the team over at Xometry, a new sponsor this year for the 2025 World Championship of 3D CAD speed modeling. Aaron, you've worked with the team at Xometry before, haven't you?
Fantastic team. We love Xometry. We use them regularly.
And if you're out there and you're not familiar with what Xometry does, they provide manufacturing on demand. They provide simple, fast way to create custom physical parts. That's the long and the short of it. So if you can model it up in 3D CAD, you can send it over to them and they can provide you with a physical version of that part. But what is that physical version going to be made out of? Well, they provide a wide range of manufacturing processes, including 3D printing, CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication. They also provide the highest quality materials out there, aluminum 6061, stainless 304, ABS, nylon 12, and more. And the cool thing about the team at Xometry is they don't just take your files and instantly turn them into physical parts. They look over the information, and they've got a team of manufacturing experts. So whether you're doing a single prototype or multi-part runs, their team will look over your files, and they might come back to you and say, hey, is the location of this feature really critical? Or are you just using this to lighten the load on this part a little bit, to make the part weigh a little bit less? Because if it's not critical, then you could actually change this feature and save a lot of money in manufacturing costs. So they'll actually reach out to you and help you save money on getting these parts made. And that's something that I think really makes the difference. And that really shows how Xometry has you covered. You know, they're not just going to just take your files and instantly make them. They're going to actually help you save money and make the parts a little bit smarter. And especially when you're in those initial prototyping phases, every dollar counts. And the more you can save, the better off you're going to be. So it's great to have a team like Xometry in that situation. And, you know, these guys here, the team from Hypershock, which is a BattleBots team, they actually use Xometry to create quite a few different parts for their bot. So let's take a look. The team at Xometry has a really nice promo video here from Hypershock. I'm going to play this here. Let me just turn down the music on my side, and let's take a look at what Hypershock was able to do when working with Xometry.
Hi, I'm Will Bales.
And I'm Alex Bales. Together, we engineer crazy fighting robots. Getting custom parts is key to everything we do.
That's why we choose Xometry to get on-demand custom manufacturing for prototyping and production.
They offer dozens of processes like 3D printing, CNC machining, and sheet cutting.
Plus, Xometry's huge network creates massive capacity for production and reliable supply chains.
Get started with Xometry today.
Xometry, where big ideas are built.
So there you go. It goes to show you that, you know, whether you're working on a simple project with just a few parts or a very complicated project like a 500-pound BattleBot, you know, you can work with a team like Xometry and they can help you get the parts that you need. If you do find yourself in a spot where you need to get these parts made, be sure to use code Toby20. You can save 20% off your first order with code Toby20. So be sure to check that out. And let's just take a moment here before we go on to our other sponsors and recognize some of the people in the chat. Mr. Intrusionist is here, says hello, everyone. Cortery is here and says, my first live, I've been binging the speed runs, and this community is so awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Be sure to join us on the Discord as well. We would love to see you in there as well. And Jim U. Kerberos coming in with NOK 100 Super Chat. Keeping that super chat train rolling. Thank you so much, my friend. Very much appreciate it. Really goes a long way. All the contributions from everybody in the community really make a difference. They truly are sustaining contributions. They're going to sustain us through the hard times, and they're going to help us make sure that we can continue to grow this channel, grow this tournament. And I mean, what's the goal of the tournament, Aaron? What do you think the goal is?
See who the best speed modeler is. I mean, that's why I'm tuned in. I want to see who's the best.
That is a fantastic answer, and that is true. But as far as growth goals go, our goal is to make it to the Sphere in Las Vegas. So that is what we want to end up seeing, both on the inside and the outside. We want to see 3D CAD speed modeling on the Sphere. So that's where this is all going. Once we get there, then we can retire. But we're going to try and get to that goal. Yeah,
that's great. Concrete goal.
It's very concrete.
Can you imagine that, driving past Vegas and seeing
flying in
Toby's speed modeling on the Sphere?
I want to see footage from somebody's airplane as they're flying in. CAD versus CAD on the Sphere. Yeah, that's what we're gonna get there. All right, guys. JitCat Camp Fusion Phil says the goal is to make me buy subs. Remember, if the Fusion users win, we're gonna get some subs here. All right, and before we move on to the tournament, we got to give a shout out to some of our other sponsors, because without these sponsors, we're never going to get to the Sphere. So we got to also give a huge shout out to our brand new sponsor, CADOp.io. Now, this is a special sponsor because this is actually somebody from our community. And, you know, Aaron, I heard you talking earlier about needing to distribute information and working with CAD documentation. And sometimes it's beneficial to create a custom macro to do that. But another potential solution would be to sign up at CADOp.io, because what CADOp.io can do is they can help cut documentation time by up to 90%. And the way that they do this is by creating a modern cloud-first platform for CAD documentation. And so what you can do here at CADOp.io is you can upload any step file of an assembly and upload it to their mobile-first platform, their cloud-first platform, and then all of the important information regarding that project is going to be in the hands of all the stakeholders immediately. And so because it's able to generate that clean professional documentation, that means that you're going to get things like a BOM, like technical specifications, like cost breakdowns. Really, you're going to get everything that you need directly into the hands of all the stakeholders, so they're going to be able to communicate more efficiently. You're not going to have to like go to one specific department or one person's computer to look up that information. You get smooth 3D viewing directly in a web browser or on a mobile device. So you can even do this directly from mobile, and it's the perfect tools for engineers, project managers, and suppliers. If you visit CADOp.io, you'll see that right on the homepage, you can get a feel for what this app will do and what it looks like. And if you're interested in signing up for the beta for early access, you can visit beta.cadop.io. So this is a really, really cool product, very cool solution here for that challenge of documentation amongst your team, and developed by one of our very own members of the community, Sebastian, who's our #1 seed in this tournament. So if you want to talk to somebody who understands how to go fast and how to save time, Sebastian is going to be your person, and he's developing an app to help you save time. Check him out, CADOp.io. Thank you so much to CADOp.io for sponsoring. And of course, we can't forget about our good friends over at Solidbox. These guys have been a friend of the Too Tall Toby channel and community for a long time. And what Solidbox.com does, mysolidbox.com does, is they create professional CAD workstations for professional CAD users. And the way they do this is they help users get up and running fast by providing custom builds of servers, desktops, and laptops for SolidWorks users. And they're able to do this by creating a fully optimized build of Windows with all the bloatware stripped out. They also go through, they spec out all the fastest and greatest hard drives, the fastest and greatest RAM, the best CPU, and they also go through and they make tweaks in your BIOS, in the actual BIOS of your computer, to make sure that it's all ready to go as soon as you get it on your desk. You know, there's nothing worse than spending a bunch of money on a new computer and then getting it and opening a SolidWorks assembly and getting a message that says SolidWorks is running low on memory. It's like, I just spent all this money. Why do I have to go through this frustration? And that's the frustration that the team at Solidbox will help alleviate. You can visit them at mysolidbox.com, and they truly are a skilled and experienced support team of hardware experts. And probably one of the biggest accolades for the team at Solidbox is that when they take on a customer, they truly become a customer for life. You know, they just make it so easy to work with. They make it so easy to make sure that when you get your computer, you just put it on your desk, turn it on, and start working. You don't have to like go and contact IT and say, hey, can you make this change? I don't have permissions to make this change. Not all that is a thing of the past. And so that is the team with Solidbox. You can avoid crashes. You can make sure that everything runs smoothly. Be sure to visit them, mysolidbox.com, and a great friend of the show. And really, for all these sponsors out there, guys, even if you're not working with them currently, if you happen to see them post anything, if they post anything on social media or you see them on LinkedIn or anything like that, just drop a note and just say, hey, I saw you're sponsoring the Too Tall Toby tournament. That's awesome. Like, we really enjoy that tournament. That's so cool that you're sponsoring it. Just like injecting some positive energy out there into the world of the internet and the world of social media really goes a long way, and it helps us grow and it helps us to maintain that relationship with those sponsors. So give them a shout out when you see them. And finally, I know I made this announcement earlier, but we've got prizes today. Today, 2 of our 4 runners are going to win a prize. Whoever comes away with a victory today is going to win a 3D printer from our new prize sponsor, Prusa. So 3rd and 4th place are going to win a Prusa Mini Plus. Congratulations. It's a big printer in a compact body. 2nd place is going to win a Prusa MK4S, the flagship 3D printing workhorse. And of course, 1st place, our champion, is going to win a Prusa Core 1 fully enclosed Core XY 3D printer. And if you're not familiar with Prusa, they have been around for a long time. They really try to make it easy, fast, and try to help you waste the least amount of material when you're doing 3D printing. They've been around for a long time. They've created a great product. They have an awesome social media channel. They're really funny. They know how to have a good time with it. And it's been awesome to watch that company grow over the years into the behemoth that they are today. And we're so thankful to have them as a sponsor. So once again, if you ever see them out on social media, be sure to give them a shout out. Be sure to let them know. Say, hey, I saw your sponsor in the tournament. That's awesome. Thank you. Like, it's great. We love the tournament, and we can't do it without sponsors like these guys. You got any
I want to give my quick plug for Prusa
Yeah.
as well. We have a Prusa here, and it is just a workhorse. I mean, the thing just runs nonstop. It never goes down. We never have problems with it. It's an affordable 3D printer. It's crazy to think that, like, 10 years ago, you had to spend $40,000 to get a really nice, you know, the 3D printer, FDM 3D printer. And these days, you know, $500, $1,000, $1,500, you can get an incredible machine. And Prusa for sure is up there at the top. So we love our Prusa. That's awesome that they're sponsoring your channel.
Yeah, and it's the, you know, reliability. It's something that, you know, if you're brand new to the world of 3D printing and you buy a printer today, you probably don't even realize like how important reliability was in the past and how many hours. I mean, there was a time when it was like for every, you know, 3-4 hours of print time that you get, you'd end up spending like 8 hours taking the entire head apart, putting it back together, replacing the hot end, putting it back together, replacing the nozzle, putting it back together. And it was just so much maintenance, and you had to be a tinkerer in order to actually get a successful print. Now it's just, there are printers out there that are just so reliable and it just works. And so, yeah, Prusa is definitely one of those. I love seeing all the comments coming in. Yeah, 3D printing became great once it just works. Exactly. That's exactly right. From our friend Phil. Guys, that's it. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in today. Let's get into the action. Hit the like button if you like this kind of tournament. I know maybe you haven't seen the tournament yet if you're just hanging out here waiting for the warm-up, but we have to get through some housekeeping every week before we get into the main event. And now, you know, like I said, wait, let me just go back one slide here. Like I said, guys, if fourth, third, second, and champion all are going to win a printer, then that means whoever wins today, gets out of the Elite 8, is going to be in the top 4. So we are playing for some high stakes today. Whoever wins their match today will win a 3D printer. And so congratulations to all the runners that made it this far. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to send this out to everybody who you know who's interested in 3D CAD. Let's get them in here as well. And guys, let's get into it here. How these matches work, we take 2 runners from around the world and we pit them against one another. So for example, if we had Ivan from Canada versus Aaron C from the United States, what we would do is we would reveal a 2D drawing to these runners. Now we're going to reveal it to the runners, but we're really going to reveal it to everybody. We're going to throw it up here on screen for everyone. And these runners are then going to try to turn that 2D drawing into a 3D model. And they're going to try to calculate the mass of the model. So that's based on some material properties. And they're going to enter that mass directly into the YouTube chat. Now, the rules for our runners are that this is going to be a best of 3 battles, or really a race to 2 points. So after they win the first battle, Aaron and I are going to say, congratulations, good job, you've won the first battle. And they are going to then try to win their second battle in order to advance to the final 4. You have to win 2 points to advance to the final 4. Now, the way you win a point is you enter the mass directly in the YouTube chat. But what if you get it wrong? Well, if they enter the mass and that mass is incorrect, then what we will say is, I'm sorry, that answer is incorrect. You may continue trying to solve. They can answer one incorrect answer. But if they answer wrong twice, then we implement what's called the clock of doom. And what the clock of doom means is that the second runner has 5 minutes to come up with the correct answer. And if nobody gets the correct answer, then it's just a push and we'll move on to the next battle. Now, for all of you out there, all of the chat out there, you can absolutely play along. You know, you're going to see the 2D print come up on the screen. You can take a screen capture. You can try to model it in your CAD system. But please do not help these runners. And what that means is don't answer in the chat. Like if you solve it, don't put the answer in the chat. And it also means don't help them if they get stuck. You know, if you see like something was supposed to be tangent and they missed the tangency, and that's why they're getting the wrong answer, don't tell them. Don't type it into the chat. Okay, these guys are the stars today, so we're going to try to let them shine. Now, what you can do if you want to flex a little bit is you can let the entire chat know that you got it, that you solved it. And I think in just a moment here, we're going to see some of our regulars from the chat let us know what that looks like. So you could type into the chat and you could say, I got it. Or if you are a member of the channel, you'll have access to these exclusive emojis and you can say, I got it. And that's kind of how you let everybody know you're going to, that's how you let everybody know. You just let everybody know you're kind of flexing a little bit. You could say, I got it, I got it, I got it. Big B from AZ says, I'm going to help. That's how you can let everybody know. You can say, I'm going to help. So we kind of reviewed this already, so we're just going to kind of get right into it here. We are going to do a quick practice, though. So our first match here is going to feature MrAlex, our number 8 seed, using SolidWorks versus Max, our number 11 seed using Fusion. And what we're going to do to get them warmed up is we're just going to give them a real simple practice example here. So basically the way this is going to work is as soon as the drawing goes full screen, these guys are going to try and take a screen capture and they are going to try to model it. So MrAlex, I hope you're ready. Max, I hope you're ready. Here we go. This first practice battle between these two runners begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? So these guys are going to grab a screen capture of this part. If you're out there in the chat, you can try as well. And they're going to now both try to model this up. So you can see that we've got MrAlex on the left. We've got Max on the right. You can see MrAlex is using SolidWorks. He's from Latvia, right, MrAlex? Latvia? I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. I feel like I got most of these flags down. And Max is from Denmark. So both of them are from they're from all around the world here using all different CAD systems. And Jern says Latvia. Yep, right, Latvia. Shout out to Latvia. Congratulations. And so we see in the chat there that Max came into the chat with the answer 107 grams, and then he was followed very quickly by MrAlex, who came into the chat with the answer 107 grams. Okay, so in this case, we would say congratulations, Max, you earned a point. We would give him a point here on the chart, and then the first person to get to 2 points will win the match, and we'll move on to the final four, and we'll win a 3D printer. So that's how we would do it, basically, and that is our tech check. We just wanted to make sure everything looks good. Aaron, you look good. Congratulations. MrAlex looks good. Max looks good. Everybody looks good, except for me. I look okay. Here
Toby,
we go.
you look great too. Come on, don't shortchange yourself.
We look great. We look great. Oh, Aaron, is there a dress code for PDX? Can I just wear my regular, like, black sweatshirt, black hat? Should I wear a suit and a black hat and a black sweatshirt?
You know, don't come in like swimming attire.
Okay.
But outside of that, I think you're going to be fine. Come in something that's comfortable. Yeah.
I like this.
This is just going to be a good time. We're not super formal. We want you to be comfortable, relaxed, and just have fun and learn something important.
Guys, if you want to learn more about PDX, Vicky is going to drop a link in the chat. You can learn a little bit more about PDX, about what we're talking about here. But we are going to move on now to what we call the Wheel of Fate. Now, basically, Aaron, the way the Wheel of Fate works is that if we were to know ahead of time what drawings are going to be used, we could maybe skew the challenge, right? If we know MrAlex is really good at sheet metal, then we could just load up a bunch of sheet metal challenges, right? And then give him an advantage over Max. So instead, what we do is we randomize the drawings that come out during the tournament. Okay, we create a pool of drawings. These are all tier 4 and tier 5 level difficulty drawings, but we randomize it. And so you can see in the chat, something that our chat community has gotten really good at is becoming a little clairvoyant. So you can see here that Rockcrawler is coming in right away saying he thinks it's going to be drawing number 23. All right, and we see that a lot of other people here in the chat are also trying to prove their clairvoyance. And so we'll find out in a moment who's truly got it. But this Wheel of Fate technology, this patented proprietary Wheel of Fate technology would not be possible without our sponsor of the Wheel of Fate, Plasticity. If you've never used Plasticity before, it's not only advanced and Class A surfacing, but it's also got some really top-notch direct editing capabilities. And you can see here in this kind of preview, plasticity.xyz, they're showing off some of that direct editing, some of that kind of push-pull capability, whether you're working with curvy geometry or whether you're working with more, traditional analytic geometry. The ability to just kind of quickly push and pull that geometry around is often kind of understated, honestly, and it's such a powerful tool, and Plasticity really has unlocked a lot of the capabilities in that push-pull environment, that direct editing environment. So you not only get amazing Class A surfacing tools, you also get some great direct editing tools. It works directly into your existing CAD workflow, so you're able to model it up in Plasticity and then push it right into your existing CAD system, and it's no subscriptions. You own your tools, no strings attached. Check them out, plasticity.xyz. And thank you, Plasticity, for sponsoring the Wheel of Fate. And Aaron, what do you think is going to be? We got all these great answers in here. I don't think I'm going to read them all because I'm excited to get into this first match. But what number do you think it's going to be, Aaron?
Man, I'm going to go with 23.
Yes.
You got to go with Jordan's number.
Yeah, and Rockcrawler. We had Rockcrawler come in right from the start. Let's go. 23, Michael Jordan. Here we go. I'm not even going to shuffle it this time, guys. I'm just going to rip it. We're going into it here. I'm excited about this matchup. And boom, right off the bat. You got it correct. Just like you said, Aaron, 18.
Just like I said. That's perfect. Yeah. No need to rewind. Just take our word for it. That's what I said.
That's what he said, yeah. So, guys, this is actually one of the drawings that was kind of left over from last week, but it was a tier 4 drawing, so I thought this would be a good one to kind of get things started here, or at least like have it in the mix. I didn't think it was going to get it started, but have it in the mix, so let's go. And before we proceed, one last point of housekeeping here. I just want to give a shout out to Guntis. Thank you so much, Guntis, for the super chat. I saw that came in right when we were getting into the Wheel of Fate, so thank you so much, Guntis. That is awesome. Thank you. And congratulations to anybody who guessed 18. Let's see if anybody had the clairvoyance. Looks like maybe nobody. Wow. Oh, no, here we go. MrAlex. Wow. Guys, he's competing in this match, and he knew it was going to be number 18. That is scary.
That's telling right there.
That is scary. All right, Aaron. Well, listen, while the production team is getting this challenge ready, perhaps you could teach us a little bit about these runners.
Absolutely. So MrAlex, a longtime friend of the Too Tall Toby community, coming in here. I've been using SolidWorks since 1997. And man, I thought I've been using SolidWorks for a long time. I've been about 20 years, but MrAlex is just crushing me with coming up on 30 years as a SolidWorks veteran. Amazing. He loves machines, even owns a car. Maybe he lives in the city where cars aren't super popular. I don't know. But still rides his bike to work, and whether it's a car or a bike, plenty of opportunities for mechanical work there, and maybe designing some of your own parts, 3D printing them with a Prusa or other 3D printers, which we love, right?
Yeah.
So that's
or get some parts from Xometry.
There you go. Absolutely. Yep. Then we've got Max from Denmark. He owns a
So this is with Max. I didn't get any fun facts from Max, so I found this on Reddit. So you can read this quote from Reddit.
Okay. Cheering for Max, he won DM, a Danish championship in additive manufacturing, and is extremely talented. Curious to know what kind of additive manufacturing competition he won. That sounds super interesting.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And so both of our runners here, a lot of experience. Very excited. It's kind of like, it seems almost like it's like old school versus new school here. So I'm very excited to see how this turns out. But I know that watching both these runners in the past, they are both very capable. So I am ready for this, Aaron. Are you ready for this one?
I'm so ready, Toby. Let's do this.
Let's do this. All right, guys, here we go. This very first CAD vs. CAD battle of the day, featuring MrAlex, our number 8 seed from Latvia, using SolidWorks, squaring up against Max, our number 11 seed from Denmark, using Fusion. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds? The tolerance on this part is plus or minus 0.01 pounds. It's made of 1060 aluminum, and it is in inches, IPS inches. So both of our runners here getting started. Let's flip over and see how they handle this. I know that inches are not really that popular in Europe, so this will be interesting to see how both of our runners approach this. And it looks like they're both starting with a sketch looking down from the top plane. Looks like MrAlex used some auto dimensioning, but I think Max used some auto dimensioning there as well. Very interesting. I think this is probably going to put both of our runners a little bit out of their comfort zone. MrAlex on the left using SolidWorks.
That was cool.
Max.
Yeah, he put fillets on all 4 corners at the same time. I didn't even know you could do that in a sketch. Very cool. I'm learning something already.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about these tournaments is seeing how our runners have learned to navigate the software, have practiced doing speed modeling, and have really refined and honed their workflows. Created a sketch of a rectangle, then put a window of around the corners. Very cool.
And I like your 1060 aluminum call out there, Toby. I'm not super familiar with 1060, so that's a different one. If you've memorized the mass of like 6061 T6, which is what we see so commonly, then this is going to throw you for a loop, or you're going to have to actually specifically apply that material and figure out what the mass properties are.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case. I mean, we do have a library of 4 materials that we always use here in the tournament. So all the runners know, and they should have their libraries configured. But So it looks like Max on the right decided to take kind of a different approach. MrAlex already getting all those fillets, but Max deciding to kind of create some sharp corners and then use a circular pattern to get that cut extrude in place. That was a really nice set of moves there. He's working from the back side of this thing, and on the back side of this thing, there's a pocket for the location of that kind of circular pocketed out area. And so now we see Max going around getting those corners filleted. That's what MrAlex did earlier in the sketch. And wow, these guys are neck and neck here. As we get deeper into the tournament, you can see that the models are getting a little more complicated. So, you know, in an earlier round of the tournament, it might have just been the square with those slots in the middle, but this one's got a little bit more. It's got the pocket on the back. It's got the geometry in those corners, the counter bores there in the corners. So very interesting to see how our runners are taking care of this. And it looks like Max maybe used some direct editing there to pull that hole down through on the corner. That was a really nice move there. He didn't even need to make a sketch.
Toby, where do you come up with these models? What's the process for creating these different levels of modeling challenges?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe we talk about that between the matches. I want to make sure that we keep an eye on the action here. Yeah, I could easily go down a rabbit hole on that question. So we see Max was able to go through, was able to get those fillets around that top edge, and it looks like he may be getting pretty close here to finishing this thing off. Now, it does look like maybe, and we've seen this from Max before, it does look like maybe he modeled the part a little bit differently than what was shown on the drawing geometrically. I think he might be trying to use what we call an Ivan exploit. And so we're going to keep an eye here on the chat. Max coming in with an answer, 1.27 pounds. And that is correct.
Wow.
And wow. So Max, once again, utilizing what we call an Ivan exploit. He decided instead of putting that pocket on the back, he was going to just put it in the front, right along with some of that other geometry. And in the case of this tournament, that is an available exploit. Sometimes it ends up getting a little bit of heat from the chat. Sometimes it gets a little bit of heat in the comments when we see users doing that. But the long story short is that as we get deeper and deeper into the tournament, it's going to be harder and harder to find those exploits. I think that if it was me, I probably would have just put that pocket on the back. I don't know if it necessarily saved him that much, but you know what? He was able to do it. He was able to come up with the correct mass, and GG to Max. Wow, he really blasted through that model pretty quickly. Wow.
MrAlex was not far behind. Congratulations.
No, MrAlex was right there. But Max was really able to get that thing in place. And it's kind of interesting, you know, sometimes when people get exposed to that Ivan exploit, they really look for it. They really are on the lookout for that Ivan exploit. And so named, of course, after our original champion, Ivan the Reasonable, who was the first person to use that in one of our tournaments. And sometimes I find that when I try to look for them, I spend more time trying to get clever and work around than I would have just spent just modeling it straight, you know? But good for Max finding that one and using that in his workflow. And that is kind of the spirit of this tournament. You know, we try to keep it fun, and there definitely is that opportunity to use that exploit. So GG to Max on that one. Really moved fast through that model, really got that geometry in place, had a good game plan, was able to get those tricky corners done. And GG, of course, to MrAlex as well. You got to win 2 points, though, to move on. So both of our runners trying to move on and get into that final four so they can win themselves a 3D printer from our sponsor, Prusa.
I like Big B from AZ's comment here. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Oh, I like that.
Support that, but I like the sentiment.
I like it. Yep. So, all right, guys. So we're going to move on to the next challenge here. Let's see what this next challenge is. And, of course, we can't decide what that next challenge is. We have to turn to our Wheel of Fate and our Wheel of Fate sponsor, Plasticity. So I'm going to give this thing a little bit of a shuffle. Give this thing a little bit of a shuffle here. I really liked one of the things I noticed in that last battle was Max did a move where he extruded that area where the counter bore was in the corner and left kind of like a circular stub sticking up. And then he just clicked on the face of that stub and pushed it right through. You know, some direct editing like we were talking about with this plasticity video, how they're able just to kind of push geometry around. Max kind of did a move like that. So if you go back and you watch that previous one, you'll see what his move was there. It was pretty cool. So Rockcrawler thinks it's going to be 23. FPV Kev, 21. Bogdan, 25. Guntis, 25. Big B from AZ, 24. Ing Aza, 24. Mr. Intrusionist, 24. Camille, 21. Mesa Makes, 22. Corteri. Oh, and Corteri, you know what? Guys, Corteri came in with a super chat as well. Brand new to the channel and comes in with a super chat. Canada, $10. Thank you so much. It says, you got this. Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. Thank you so much for the super chat. Welcome to the channel. Brand new to the channel and coming in with some super chat. Really enjoying what they're seeing here on the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so, and I'm probably saying your name wrong. Sorry about that. Countery? It's Kounta. Countery. I like that. John J. Miles coming in 25. MrAlex 22. La 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 coming in 23. Nicolay 20. Atse coming in 21. La 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 23. La La 23. La La 20. Okay, we got you 23. 3D Hub coming in 21. Matab White 22. And Ihor coming in 24. Het Patel 22222. Matt 593 coming in with 25. J. Ron coming in 25. My name is something 20. La 23 again. Biggie Chong 22. Brent coming in with 21. Mark from UK coming in with 21. Nehalu coming in with 24. Serial Sal 22. That's what I'm going to put my money on. 22. Najen coming in here 22. And Counteray. Thank you. I like that. That's what I need for most words. And Jared coming in 21. Simone coming in 25. And Andrew coming in 23. Guys, let's give this a shuffle. And let's see who's got clairvoyance. Here we go. Aaron, any guesses before I spin it?
If I keep going with 23, eventually I'm going to be right. So I'm just going to go with 23 again.
Here we go. Shuffle. Spin. Let's see what the Wheel of Fate has in store for our runners. Well, all those people who thought 23 were probably feeling real good about that for a second. So congratulations, everyone. And this next challenge is going to be challenge number 20. So congratulations to everybody who predicted that it would be 20. You have clairvoyance, and you are doing quite well. Nicolay said 20. Countery said 20. That's what's up. That's what you got to do. Come on in. Welcome, one and all. Jim Yu coming in with 20. That's what's up. That's how we got to do it. All right, guys. Well, while the production team gets drawing number 20 ready for these runners, Aaron, perhaps you could tell us just a little bit more about these runners.
Well, let's see, MrAlex, let's see. I'm like a robot, a machine. Wait, let me explain. For the past 2 years, I've been playing in Too Tall Toby's tournaments. I lost to Airwick, dramatic challenge, that must have been. He became the champion. I lost to Matab. He became the champion. So if you want to be a true champion, battle tested against a robot, you'll have to beat me first, is what he says.
Yes, true.
That
is all true. And very accurate. And he also works at the best startup in the country in the R&D department. But hold on, let's run a little experiment. If any of my colleagues are watching right now, please type a plus in the chat. This is for science. It's for science, guys. Come on. Let us know if you're out there watching. Rambro's Workshop in the chat says, can we see a third match, guys? Wow. I hope so. I think that's truly when we all win, right? When it goes to a third match, that's when we all win. So, and we see, let's see here. Do it, MrAlex. Matab says, do it, MrAlex. Let's go. And, and Gnomeher is in the chat, says A+. Nice. Typed A+ in the chat. Very nice. Very nice. All right, Aaron, are you ready for the second match?
So ready. Let's do this, man.
Here we go. MrAlex, our number 8 seed. Using SolidWorks from Latvia, going up against Max, our number 11 seed from Denmark, using Fusion. If Max can win this one, he will move on to the Final Four, and he will win a 3D printer. If MrAlex can win this one, then we all win, because we get to go on to a third battle. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the total mass of this multi-body part or assembly in X.XXX pounds? The tolerance is plus or minus 0.003 pounds. This part is called umbrella stand, or this model, and the material is various, CBOM. The density is various, CBOM. So we've got a multi-body challenge here for our runners. Tier 4 challenge. Really, it's like Tier 4, Tier 5. heading into the E-Leap 8. So here we go. MrAlex on the left using SolidWorks, Max on the right using Fusion.
Looks like parts number 1 and 3 are very similar, but slightly different. It'll be interesting to see how our two runners handle the very slight differences and what they can leverage between the two.
Yes, as we get deeper and deeper into these tournaments, it becomes a little bit more important that we get our geometry in the correct place. It becomes a little bit more important that we think about kind of all the dimensions. It's a lot easier to get mixed up by the dimensions on the print as the prints get more complicated. So very interesting here. Max on the right decided to extrude that block, got that block extruded, and then going through and adding in this hole here to the block. And I like the way he dimensioned that hole using that 45-degree line coming off of the block. That was pretty insightful to realize that he could do that. And now it looks like he's using some type of a circular pattern to get the additional instances of this thing. So let's see if he's able to figure out what that angle needs to be. Meanwhile, we see MrAlex on the left using SolidWorks, going to make all 3 of those holes equal. So pretty interesting here. I like the way Max is coming into this, kind of came in with a plan. And now it looks like he's trying to figure out what is going to be the best way to execute that plan. He abandoned the circular pattern and switched over to a mirror and was able to kind of quickly recover there from that misstep.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the two approaches end up in the end here. We got MrAlex, who that large fillet on the lower right corner, he sketched that into, included that in his primary sketch there, whereas Max looks like he started with a square and then he added a fillet afterwards in the solid model, as opposed to creating that geometry in the sketch. So we'll see which one pays off.
And Miguel in the chat says, with these tournaments, we learn so many new things. That's so cool to hear. And that is really what this is all about. Everything we're doing here, it's like it's supposed to be like an educational esport. It's my favorite new esport is watching these live CAD tournaments, but we definitely want it to be educational as well. So MrAlex modeling these parts kind of in the orientation that they would be when they're assembled. It looked more like Max maybe was considering making a second part there kind of next door. He might be going for an approach where he's just going to kind of model out the parts. So we'll see which technique ends up yielding a faster answer here. This is a fun model because those poles don't go all the way through. They're the pockets that are in the plastic parts for those wooden poles, they stop short. They stop short on the bottom and they also stop short on the top. You can see they're not protruding out the top. And so our users need to figure out the most elegant way to create those holes and then to create, in this case, a multi-body part or an assembly in order to get everything to be the correct size, get everything to be the correct length. And so
I love the multi-body approach here in the challenge. It's such a powerful way to model. Not everyone is familiar or supports multi-body modeling. I've always been a big fan of it myself. I think it's just it's a faster, more sophisticated way to model certain things. Not everything, but certain things.
And we see Matab in the chat, who's going to be competing next week, says, got it. So he is, not only is he watching, but he's also getting himself ready for next week. And both of our runners look like they may be coming up with a mass. So we're going to really keep an eye on the chat here. Keeping an eye on the chat. And MrAlex comes in with an answer, 3.4599 pounds. That is not correct. That is not correct. So he's going to have to revise his answer. He's going to have to look at the model and see if he can't figure out what went wrong there. And Max coming in with an answer, 3.208 pounds. That is not correct. That is not correct. So both of our runners have now answered incorrectly one time. So the first answer came in from MrAlex, 3.4599 pounds. That is not correct within tolerance. And then our second answer, 3.4599 pounds. And then our second answer there came in from Max, 3.208. That is not correct. That is not correct within tolerance. So both of our runners trying to resolve this. And Max adjusting his answer, 3.22 pounds. That is not correct. That is not correct. So, and MrAlex revising his answer, 3.306 pounds. And that is not correct either, guys. We got ourselves our first push. We didn't even get to do the clock of doom. Neither of our runners was able to come up with the correct answer. And so if you're out there in the chat and you finished it and you want to type in the correct answer, this is your chance for the ultimate flex. coming in with an answer from the chat. Atse comes in with an answer 3.06. 3.061. Dom comes in with an answer 2.828. Does anybody else in the chat want to enter their answer? Matab comes in with an answer 3.06. The correct answer is 3.061 plus or minus 0.003 pounds. 3.061 is the correct answer. So neither of our runners get a point on that one. Wow, wow,
Dang.
wow.
A lot of pressure in here. It's tough to model quickly when the pressure's on. Everyone's looking at you.
Yes, yes, indeed. And it's a fun model. You know, that model, that umbrella stand, I like that one. That one's definitely going to end up in our practice models library. You could 3D print that, and then you could order those dowels, and then you'd have a nice umbrella stand, or you could give one to your grandma. I don't know who has, that's who I always imagine has an umbrella stand in their, you know, in their entryway. It's probably your grandma who has one of those. I don't know who else has one. You got an umbrella stand in your entryway there, Aaron?
I do not. No umbrella stand. No.
Probably
no,
not too worried
this
about
century.
that much rain when it only rains there like once a year.
Yeah, exactly. We had a lot of rain last weekend, and everyone was overjoyed.
Yeah, and everybody forgets how to drive.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, congratulations. Nobody got a point on that one, but we all get a point because we all get to see a third match between these guys, and that's the fun part about this tournament. And thank you so much to everybody in the chat who's playing along with and who's answering. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm just going to switch to full screen for a second here. There's nothing more nerve-wracking for me than when the guys don't come up with the correct answer, because it makes me worry that maybe I did something wrong in the drawing, or I did something wrong in my answer key. And so when you guys in the chat come in and answer, you know, after I give you the green light, man, it feels so good to see the correct answer show up. This is high stakes, guys. We're playing for a 3D printer here, so we want to make sure we do it right. All right, on to our next battle here and back to the Wheel of Fate. So here we go. We are winding down this Wheel of Fate. Now, if we run out of challenges here on the Wheel of Fate, we could revert maybe to another challenge. We'll see what ends up happening. We want to make sure we save some for the second half of the show. We do have a sudden death mechanism. The sudden death mechanism is basically if these guys do a second push. So if we wait until there's two. If there's a second push here, then what happens is the next match, it's do or die. It's as soon as someone answers, a point is awarded. So if you answer, you get it correct, you get the point. If you answer incorrect, your opponent gets the point. And so that's what we would end up doing. That's our sudden death rules. But we're not there yet. We'd have to have two pushes to get there. So here we go. Rock Crawler 23. Yo, I like that. 21, 21, 23, 24, 25, 21, 25 locked in. 21, 25, 24, trust. 22, 25, 25, let's go. I love seeing all these guys. Let's give this thing a spin. Here we go. Shout out to Plasticity sponsoring the Wheel of Fate. And here we go. Well, that one was a push. And this one is going to be challenge number 22. This is going to be a good one. So here we go. Challenge number 22 in this CAD vs. CAD World Championship of 3D CAD modeling. Let's see how these guys do. We've already learned, I think, everything that we're going to learn about these runners. There might be one or two little additional things here in these fun facts. But Aaron, maybe instead of reading about these guys, you could just give them your thoughts on what they could do to lock down this next point.
To lock down this next point, well, you know, there is a lot of pressure when you're doing this. Even just watching this, I can like feel the pressure myself. So personally, I would take a few deep breaths, calm down, relax a little bit, get your nervous system in order, and then go.
I love that. That is fantastic advice. I think there's not much more that needs to be said there. So guys, calm down, take some deep breaths, and let's get ready for this next CAD vs. CAD battle, because this next CAD vs. CAD battle features MrAlex, our number 8 seed from Latvia, running SolidWorks, going up against Max, our number 11 seed from Denmark, running Fusion. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? The tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram. The material is ABS. And the density on this print is not correct. The density on that print is not correct. Hold on. The density is 1020 kg per gram per meter cubed. Guys, the density is incorrect there. It's the ABS density. Sorry about that. Okay, density, it's in the chat. Density is not correct on the print. I'll overlay it on the highlight video. Make sure you guys get that density correct. It is 1020 kilograms per cubic meter. I do apologize. And guys, here we go.
MrAlex starting off with a sketch here for, I assume, what is going to turn out to be a sweep, connecting the base and the trapezoidal shape on the other end.
Yeah, it's interesting. Both of our runners from two different areas of the world, starting out with almost the same sketch, but it looks like Max decided to use some offset geometry to kind of help out with his dimensioning. I really like that technique when you're doing something like a sweep, you know, just offsetting a little bit of geometry to help make it a little easier to add in some of those dimensions, like inside bend radius, outside bend radius. So very cool here. And Max getting in there, adding the sweep, and then adding in the cut, running through that sweep pretty quickly. Definitely drawing first blood here in this match. Wow. So Max looking at this thing now from the top, creating that kind of flange. That flange shape is it's really important to learn how to draw those quickly. You guys are going to be faced with these all throughout your engineering career. So, you know, learning how to draw that shape quickly, learning how to, you know, usually I do kind of like what Max is doing here. I'll draw like a quadrant of it and then leverage symmetry or leverage some other tools to create that shape. And jumping over to the left, MrAlex on the left there using SolidWorks, we can see he's creating that round shape from the end. This is a little bit more like the workflow that I would use if I was building this. I tend to start out with the simpler circular shapes, and then I go on to the more complicated. I like how Max decided to bite off the complicated one first. So now we see MrAlex facing that same challenge that Max was facing a moment ago, how to create those flanges. Is there a name for that shape, that type of flange shape, Aaron?
I don't know for sure. I just referred to it as a trapezoidal flange.
Okay.
But let's see if we have some mirror action going on. Oh, yeah, there's some beautiful mirroring action going on with Max. Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is...
He was able to get...
Now he's just got the easy shape after this one.
Yeah, he was able to get that shape in there quickly. Wow.
Yep. And of course, MrAlex has the easy shape in. Now he's working on the more complicated, the trapezoidal.
The trapezoidal
the
flange.
Other end.
Yeah. And Max getting in here, creating that kind of lower, you know, it's an interesting shape there going into that trapezoidal flange where it, you know, it comes down a bit and then starts to taper. So we'll see. I'm very interested to see. Wow, that's kind of a cool view there in Fusion, that section view showing the actual section lines. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Max.
MrAlex sketching all four of those tangential lines on the edges. One could have chosen to mirror those, but sometimes just putting the line in there to create the mirror takes more time than it would to just sketch the other entities. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yes. And wow, Max really got through that shape. I thought that tapered end of the model would have maybe given these guys a little bit more of a challenge, but Max was really able to get through that kind of tapered where the diameter tapers out and gets a little bit larger. He was able to get through that really quickly. And so it looks like he may be coming through on the last couple of features here, but MrAlex now has that trapezoidal shape in place as well. Just a reminder here that it is the ABS, the ABS material density. Just want to make sure that that's clear before Max answers. And I think that, okay, and so Max comes in with his answer, 933 grams. And that is correct. And congratulations, guys. We got our first Final Four entrant in Max, the whiz kid from Denmark. And wow, MrAlex is hot on his heels, finishing up that last part. But it's going to be Max who moves on. And congratulations to Max for winning a 3D printer officially, or I guess not officially yet, not officially till the end, but semi-officially. And congratulations to everyone, because Fusion won, and Fusion Phil is in the chat, and he was very excited about that as well. And wow, what a battle. And really cool to see all three of those matches. And it is Max who ends up moving on in this tournament. MrAlex hot on his heels, just about finished with that part. But wow, wow, wow. Great job to Max. Congratulations. That was awesome. First time in the tournament, making it all the way to the Final Four. And according to MrAlex, this is going to set him up to win the entire championship, right? If you beat MrAlex in one of the earlier matches, then you're basically on your way to become the champion. So congratulations. That was an awesome set of matches. Fun part there, kind of a tricky part there, and a cool one to earn your way through into the Final Four. Good job. Wow.
Very cool. That was awesome. Congratulations to Max and to MrAlex as well for just being here and competing. He did great. One of the cool things I saw MrAlex do in his modeling was sometimes you can have multiple sketch entities, and then it kind of chops up your sketch into these different chunks. And not everyone knows that you can select multiple chunks when you're actually extruding from the sketch. So that was a cool strategy that I don't see very often, but it's a powerful move to use.
Very cool. Very cool indeed. And guys, shout out to JitCAD Cam coming in 20 gift memberships here to members of the community. So thank you so much to Fusion Phil. Be sure to visit Fusion Phil on his YouTube channel, and you'll learn a lot of valuable Fusion tips and tricks. And now that you're a member on the channel, that means you get access to some of the exclusive content, including the modeling that we did earlier this week. We modeled up this cool shade here. So if you want to learn about some in-context modeling in SolidWorks, you can see how we modeled up this 3D printed part and kind of how you think through a challenge. Anytime I'm doing something at home where I'm trying to create something new for around the house that I'm going to 3D print, I try to stream that for our members only. So congratulations and thank you so much to Fusion Phil. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That is great. And just because Fusion won, that's exactly right. That's exactly right, Matab. So guys, GG to both of our runners. Thank you so much to MrAlex. He's been a longtime friend of the show. And GG to our friend Max. But guys, we are just getting to the halfway point of the show. We are going to have more in the show. And Aaron, I know you're on a limited time budget. Is this time for you to head out? Are we going to have to say goodbye to you?
I am going to have to drop out right now.
All right, my friend.
But thank you so much for having me on. Congratulations to everyone who's participating. Good luck to the next runners. And I'm definitely going to come back after and watch the rest of this to see who the winner is.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, if you enjoyed having Aaron here in the chat, be sure to put a 1 in the chat. Be sure to like the live stream. Let's do a quick check here on our likes. We got 165 people watching, Aaron. So they knew you were going to be here. They wanted to tune in for you. We got 66 likes. Let's see what we can do to get that like count up to match. And thank you, Aaron, so much for being in here. And I look forward to seeing you at PDX in a couple of weeks. And guys, I hope that many of you will join us at PDX as well.
Likewise. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me. Toby, Vicky.
It's been awesome.
Great.
Yep.
See you later.
See you later, Aaron. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, listen, this has been awesome. It's been so cool it was so cool having Aaron in here with us, and so I'm excited to continue on here. Unfortunately, without Aaron, but excited nonetheless to continue on here with all of you. And so we are only at the halfway point of our show. We are going to have a second half of the show now, where we're going to see another match between Dom and Neil Z. Neil Z, another Fusion whiz kid. So I can't wait to see how that match goes down. But before we proceed, I just want to take a minute here and talk to you guys about how you can get more practice in the world of 3D CAD and how you can kind of enjoy these same types of challenges. I mean, this is a lot of fun doing these challenges against other people, but it's also a lot of fun to do these kinds of challenges against yourself. And we can do that over at TooTallToby.com in the Practice Models app. In the Practice Models app, what we've got is over 230 2D to 3D CAD challenges featuring real-world models. And so if you visit us over at TooTallToby.com, here's what the website looks like. Move this over here a little bit so we can still see the chat. If you visit us over at TooTallToby.com, what you'll find is this library of 2D to 3D CAD challenges. So here you can see we can access the full library, and here we see what that library looks like. And you can see there are quite a few challenges here in this library. But when you get in here, when you first get in here and you're getting started, you might feel a little bit overwhelmed. You might feel like, wow, that's a lot. There's a lot going on in there. Where do I begin? Well, the cool thing is that we've got all these filters up top. So you can begin at whatever level you're ready for. If you're just brand new to the world of 3D CAD, you could say, I want to do a tier 1 model. And so you can see here's a tier 1 model, kind of a real world part here. It's a washer that you might see under your sink. And then what you can do here is you can say reveal drawing and go. And your challenge here is to calculate what is the mass of this part in xx.x grams. And you can see here that then you're going to try to enter that down below here. And we've got this nice timer. We're going to try to enter that down below here. We've got this nice timer here that helps us keep track of our time. You can see here what the average solve time is for this challenge. And if you get stuck, you can go back to the challenge page and you can see that down below here, there are often 1 or more tutorials provided by the community and even some speed runs provided by the community. So if you want to learn some more of these cool tips and tricks by watching people speed run through these challenges, this is pretty sweet. You can also see here that there are a total of 237 challenges, so you can keep track of your progress, and you can even view your data and analytics over time, so you can see how much better you're getting at the different level challenges. You can get kind of an overall run. You can see how many challenges you've done, how much time you've spent, and you can see how you're getting better at the different tiers, at the different levels of challenges. The cool thing about this app is that it's not only access to the entire library that you'll get. If when you start out, there are some free ones here that you'll get. You can kind of get started for free, but then you can pay and you can unlock the entire library. But it's not only access to the entire library you actually get access to new models every month. So it's not a static library. We're always adding new models. And one of the things that we just added this month, just yesterday and today, or 2 days ago and today, starting this month, is we started adding some of the models that we saw earlier in the tournament. So this was one of the models that we saw in the round of 8. This was one of the models we saw in the round of 8. This 25-10-01. This is one of the ones we saw in the round of 8. This one here was one of the ones we saw in the round of 8. This one here was one of the ones we saw in the round of 8. This was one we saw in the round of 8. And this one here, 25-10-05. That's a brand new one nobody saw before. I had it ready for the round of 16. I had it ready for the round of 16, but we never got it selected. The Wheel of Fate never selected that challenge. And so there you go, brand new one that nobody's ever even seen before. And so that's what we do with the practice models library. It's not only a static library, but it's actually new models added every month. We add 10 or more new models every month. The monthly subscription fee is around $6 a month. So very reasonable subscription fee to get in here to access this library. And it's really one of the best ways to learn 3D CAD. Can you use Onshape? Absolutely. Free Onshape? Absolutely. Match Age in the chat says, can I use the free Onshape for this? Absolutely. It's absolutely enough. In fact, when it comes to these tutorials, there are quite a few tutorials in here using Onshape. So if you started out at tier 1, and let's say you wanted to model this up, this is kind of a cool thing. I actually 3D printed this. This is a cap for a bottle that I have. You can see it in the image here. It's a cap for a bottle that I have. So I 3D printed this, and that way, if you lose the cap for that bottle, you can 3D print a new one. Well, this is a tier 1 challenge. Pretty simple challenge, maybe just 1 or 2 features to get this thing done. But even though it's simple, if you're brand new to 3D CAD, you might still get stuck. And so you'll be happy to see that down here, I've posted a tutorial, and the different challenges have different tutorials in different CAD systems. This one actually happens to be a Onshape tutorial. So very cool, very, very cool. And very cool that we were able to get that platform up and running. I'm reading the chat here. I'm gonna let Vicky decide how she wants to proceed here, but I'm totally open to whatever, Vicky. So we could definitely make that happen. So guys, check it out. If you're trying to learn any new 3D CAD systems, this is a really fun way to learn. It's a great way to help support the channel as well. Practice Models and signing up for Practice Models Premium. There's an intro video here to help you get started. So if you know somebody who wants to learn 3D CAD, you can just point them here and have them watch this video, and that'll help them get started on their journey. And if you happen to be an instructor and you have students and you want to talk to us about bulk pricing for you and for your students, you can reach out to Vicky at 2talktoby.com, and we can definitely help you out with that. We've helped out several instructors already in that arrangement, and we would love to talk to you and learn about you and your students and help you out in that situation as well. So you can contact Vicky at totaltoby.com, or you can use the contact us right up here at the top of this page. Guys, practice models is another great way to help support the channel and help support what we're doing here on these CAD vs. CAD tournaments. And it's fun. It kind of gives you a chance to get in there and kind of test your skills. You know, when it comes to these, when it comes to these challenges here that we just uploaded, one of the things I've done is I've actually uploaded what the time was from the tournament runner. So if we go in here to this one, for example, you can see here that this original version of this model was solved by Dom in our 2025 World Championship in 2 minutes and 51 seconds. So can you finish it faster than Dom? I couldn't. It took me 3 minutes and 34 seconds to finish it, so I couldn't finish it faster than Dom. But it's kind of cool that you're able to get in here and see how fast our tournament runners did it. Now, these models are always remixed. It's not exactly the same as in the tournament, so you do still have to redo it. You know, it's different material, different dimensions, so it's always a remix, but it's a derivative of the one that was in the tournament. All right, guys, so check that out, and with that, I'm going to get in here to continue into our tournament, and we're going to get into the second half of the tournament. Check it out, practice models. We've got community tutorials. You can filter by difficulty. You can filter by the model type that you want to do, filter by sheet metal, filter by 3D printable, okay, filter by the model type. We've got speed runners that post their runs. They've been hanging out in the Discord a lot too. You can hang out in the Discord too and continue the conversation in there. All right, guys. Well, now we move in to the second half of the show, and we've got Dom here in the second half of the show. Yeah, absolutely. Vicky says, can we invite Phil? I think it would be great if we could get Fusion Phil here in the live stream with us. I think it would be awesome, and I'm sure that he could give us some great commentary as well. So I'll be on the lookout in the live stream. I'll be on the lookout and see when he joins, and then we'll see if we can get him in here to do some co-commentary for this one, because obviously Phil is an expert in Fusion. His name's Fusion Phil, and so he'll be able to give us some really good feedback here on what Neil Z is doing. So Neil Z is our whiz kid from the United States using Fusion, our number 3 seed, been really tearing it up on the leaderboards, and he's going to be going up against Dom, our number 10 seed, and this is our only match here featuring United States. These are the only 2 guys from the United States in the whole tournament, and it's kind of cool that they ended up getting paired together here in this tournament. So the only 2, you know, you got 15 countries. The only country that was that doubled up was the United States, and now we get to see this matchup here, United States versus United States. So that's pretty cool as well. And who knows, maybe they'll get a model that's in IPS. So let's do a quick. I like Dom in the chat puts in the eagle there. So we're gonna let Phil into here into the meeting. We're gonna see if we can get him here onto the live stream. Hello, Phil. How are you, my friend?
Pretty good. You guys hear me?
I can hear you. I think they can hear you as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I'm excited.
You're looking clean, my friend. Looking real clean.
I did. I got rid of the beard, and if you guys have seen my content, it's pretty good. I have a pretty gnarly mustache at one point.
Oh, I got to go back and catch up on that one. Man, well, welcome. Thank you so much for putting up your hand and offering to join. This is great. What a treat, and what a little bonus here. This is so cool.
Dude, I am so pumped for this.
Oh,
you have no idea. I literally, if you guys catch, we do free support Friday starting at 11 Central. And I told the guys, I was like, at like 11:45, I was like, we got to cut this off. I got to catch Too Tall Toby. There's 2 runners in the whole Fusion world. Like, it's great.
Yeah. And, you know, these guys, I mean, Max it's been awesome to watch him. And Neil Z, I don't know if you caught his matches last week. Wow, what a wizard, man. And it was cool watching his one match because I wasn't even sure what he was doing with his sketches. I was like confused, and he really brought it together. It was awesome.
That's right. As we tell most people, it's not how you get to the model, you know, right? It's always about that. It's just, if the model works, man.
Yeah.
Who cares about the sketches? Stop trimming lines, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. So, Phil, we're getting some feedback here from the audience. They're saying if you could bump your volume at all. I don't know if you have any headroom on your side. I got it maxed out over here on my side. If you can do anything on your side about, like, maybe if you go into
What's that like?
That's good. That's overdriving, but I like it. Let's see. Keep talking.
You need more? Need less? Let's see.
it is clipping a little, like you're coming through from your side.
Oh,
So
yeah, give me a sec. I'm
maybe-
running it through OBS. Give
Okay.
me
Yeah,
real
maybe if you
quick.
could just bring it down just a smidge. It sounded like you were like making an
There we go.
announcement at Walmart.
All right, how's that for you guys?
It did. It ended up dropping quiet again there. Let's see if we can maybe
Test.
go
Here we
in between those two. Keep going. Keep testing.
Keep going.
Keep going
Better,
up.
worse.
There you go. That's
Are
probably
we
good.
good?
There. Yeah, that's probably good there.
Awesome.
Good. Guys, that's it. That's how good we are. We can just in under 5 minutes switch out the presenter, get a new impromptu presenter, and what a treat, man. What a treat having you here.
Awesome, dude.
This
I'm
is
so
great.
pumped. You have no idea. I love this. This might be the highlight of my day, and I've already streamed today.
Oh, wow. That's great. Well, listen, let's get these guys going here with a little practice model. We're gonna give these guys something to model up here, and we'll make sure that they've got all their settings correct, and we'll make sure that they know how to compete in this tournament. I think they both do know how to compete. They've both been in the round of 16 prior to this, so hopefully they're gonna know what to do here in the Elite 8. But let's find out here with a quick practice. This practice is going to be between our good friend Dom, longtime friend of the show, and newcomer to the tournament scene, Neil Z. Here we go. This practice begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XX grams? This is a tech check, and this is a wood peg. And so both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture, and let's take a look and make sure that everything looks good here. We got Dom on the left running SolidWorks. We got Neil Z on the right running Fusion. We got Phil down on the bottom doing commentary. We got Toby down on the bottom doing commentary. Everything looks right to me from a technical point of view. Let's let these guys come up with the mass, and let's let them enter the mass and see if they get it correct.
I'm even trying for this one on the other side.
Oh, nice. Modeling right along with.
I did miss some of the dimensions. I failed to do the old screenshot as
The
always.
old
but we're gonna be
screenshot.
all right.
So Neil Z came in with his answer 33. Dom came in right behind him. What a close match. And so we would, if this was a real match, we would say, congratulations to Neil Z. You have earned the point. So I think everything is looking good here. And that means that it's time for us to turn to the Wheel of Fate. And the Wheel of Fate, of course, is used to randomize the drawings so that we don't have any idea what drawings are coming up. And the Wheel of Fate is sponsored in this tournament by our friends over at Plasticity. Be sure to visit them, plasticity.xyz. And so we're down to just 4 drawings. So it's getting high stakes here, and it should be getting a little bit easier to be clairvoyant here. You know, if you guys are in the chat, we got Bogdan coming in 25 hype, J Miles 23, Hepatal 24, Jim U 23, 3D Hub 23, Gray 24, Dom 23, Mason Makes 21, Ludwig 24, +1. Rockcrawler 23, Momar coming in 25, Mohar coming in 25, Guntis 25, Yash 7 24, 3D Hub 21, and Countery 23 locked in, Matab 25, and Phil coming in 21. All right, let's go, guys. I'm going to shuffle this up a little bit. Probably messed up everybody's clairvoyance. Shuffle, and spin. And let's see what the Wheel of Fate has in store for this matchup. And it looks like it's going to be drawing number 25. So, wow. This is going to be a good one. Are you ready for this, Phil?
Yeah, I am so excited. Not to
Man.
mention the fact I picked 21 because 21's a good year, but 25 is when you get cheaper insurance, if you could believe that.
That's right. That's like I remember somebody once told me that's the last time you really remember how old you are, because that's the last time.
That's when you know you're an adult, when you
Yeah.
go from partying to cheaper insurance.
It's the last time anything really exciting happens for your birthday. Like you already are old enough to buy stuff, and you're already old enough to vote, and now you get your cheaper insurance, and that's it. I guess the next one would be like, other.
65
I
when
was
you
thinking,
retire.
I couldn't remember what the number was. All right, guys. Well, here we go. We are now going to see drawing number 25. And as the production team is getting this ready, Phil, maybe you could introduce us to our runners. Tell us a little bit about Dom and a little bit about Neil Z.
Yeah, so I don't think this is the same Dom. Is this the Dom that I see all the time in
Same.
the past that's on here dominating?
Same Dom, continuing to
Same
dominate.
Dom.
Yep.
Awesome. I think last time I co-hosted with you guys back-to-back weeks, by the way, I think Dom was one of the contestants. But yeah, started using SolidWorks 2019. lives in one of the best states. I'm curious what state that is, but he is a big hunting, fishing, camping kind of guy. So he must be from North Dakota like myself or northern Minnesota. Outside of that, we also have Neil. Neil is a freshman at UW-Madison. So we know that guy may like a little hunting and fishing as well. Maybe hockey also.
Nice.
Definitely outside of that, AutoCAD for 9 years ago, huh? So I remember my days in AutoCAD, and man, has it changed from the whole like command-driven days. But loves mountain biking, outdoors, flying RC planes. That RC planes is where it's at. Expensive hobby when you crash.
Yeah, but you learn so much, man. That's a lot of systems working together there in that hobby.
I 100% agree with you. Back in the day, there was none of the safety systems. There was no beginner modes. It was in the air, in a tree, spend money.
Yes. Wow. All right, guys. Well, this is going to be a great matchup. I cannot wait to see this. We've got our good friend Dom, our number 10 seed, running SolidWorks from the United States, going up against Neil, our number 3 seed from the United States, running Fusion. Here we go. This CAD versus CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? The tolerance on this part is plus or minus 1 gram. And Phil, we got a sheet metal part. The sheet metal notes, it's 6 millimeters wall thickness, 8 millimeter radius, and it can be modeled as sheet metal or as thin walled, and it is plain carbon steel. Here we go. Both of our runners are already in their CAD system. They already got a screen capture. They already came up with a plan. They've never seen this drawing before. And here we go. Dom on the left running SolidWorks, Neil Z on the right running Fusion. Now, Neil Z won one of his matches last week doing sheet metal, so we'll see if he's able to get that train to continue to roll on here. But Dom has quite a bit of manufacturing and sheet metal experience. And you can see Dom's using a little trick there with offsetting the geometry to help with the overall dimensions. So that's somebody who's done a lot of sheet metal who knows to use that trick.
Yeah, so far I'm actually very impressed on the start here. And I always forget, being somebody that doesn't do a lot of sheet metal, is like the amount of work that goes into a sheet metal part is crazy in comparison to your normal CAD modeling. Because if you wanted to design that, machine it, I'm all about it. Simple, solid block of metal, no K factor, right? That's it, dude. It's crazy to see, and the power of Fusion, especially SolidWorks, heavy on the actual sheet metal side of things.
Yeah, it's definitely a different skill you have to know. We saw in the last battle, Max needed to know how to use sweep and how to use sweep cut. That's another skill that sometimes people don't know. And now we see sheet metal, another skill that some people know better than others. But this is the World Championship, and so we definitely have a lot of different skills that show up on the wheel. Multi-body, we saw multi-body earlier today. You got to really know all these skills if you want to take down the title of World Championship. So very cool, though. It looks like Max was able to go from having that original sketch to having a body that has the bends on it, to have that sheet metal feature on it pretty quick. Or Neil Z, excuse me. I think I said Max by accident. Neil Z was able to quickly go there from having the original sketch there to having a sheet metal body. And we see Dom on the left using SolidWorks, moving through this model pretty quickly here, getting that tab that's bent out the back. Like you said, Phil, it's kind of a different workflow, different mentality when you're working in sheet metal.
It is completely. And what you saw there on the Fusion side is the flange tool, where you can basically take a sketch profile. Now, I don't say a closed profile, but like an L profile or an L sketch, add your K factors and your bend data all in real time. Now, I'm a little curious on my side, because do they have to give you the weight with it bent or as a flat pattern?
In the four, yeah, we're not getting into flat pattern because, like you said, that's going to incorporate things like K factor, and not every CAD system even has that depth of capability, and so it's just the formed shape. If you didn't know anything about know anything about sheet metal, you could absolutely just do the thing as a solid, thin walled solid, and manually add the fillets, and you could come up with the answer.
Yeah. 100%. So, I mean, that is a good thing at the end of the day. So I guess technically it's a sheet metal part, but it could be considered still a solid, right?
Yep, exactly. Wow, and we see on the left, Dom moving through, getting those fillets in place on that upper region.
He definitely just did a move that I kind of liked there. I've never seen that inside of SolidWorks, where he pulled his fillets from that inside tombstone feature, and then he applied them to the outside of the tab.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I think he maybe did like a window select there to get those fillets onto that outer tab. And that was really interesting to see.
On the other end of the spectrum, though, you do have Neil. He went the opposite route, where he created a projection and then an offset of the outside fillets to the inside. So always great to see two different workflows, and the neatness that SolidWorks definitely has at the end of the day, considering I'm a Fusion fanboy.
Oh, I like it. I like it. And
I do have to say, the Ivan exploit earlier, always fun when you're watching this type of stuff.
Yeah, very cool to see him, see Max busting that out. And I think that maybe that was him almost trolling the comments. I know that in the match from last week, the YouTube comments were pretty rough on him for using an Ivan exploit in almost like an accidental Ivan exploit. And so instead of shying away from it, I think he just leaned into it. And I love that. I love that attitude. Okay, we are keeping an eye on this this action here. I got to admit, I'm having a little bit of trouble even calling the action on this one. They're both moving so fast, and it's such a complicated model. This is a Tier 5 sheet metal model. Quite a few features in this thing, but it looks like they're both coming down the home stretch, and we might see an answer coming into the chat here. We're going to keep an eye on the chat here, and Neil Z comes in with an answer, 682.6 grams. That is not correct. That is not correct. So Neil Z is going to have to refine his model. 682.6 grams. That's not correct with intolerance. So Neil Z is going to have to refine his model. He's going to have to keep going through. We see the...
I got to say, regardless, even though you didn't get the right answer, that's impressive to put together a replicated sheet metal part in that short amount of time.
Yes, I completely agree. And Dom coming into the chat with an answer, 671 grams, or 670.89 grams. And that is correct. And so Dom is going to take it down, 670.9. Wow, wow, wow. And Neil Z coming in just a few moments behind, 670.9 grams, and that is correct as well. Neil Z was able to find his answer. And wow, those guys are close. Oh my goodness. Dom, hey Dom, this is just like a SolidWorks guy to SolidWorks guy here. Take a look at your fillet that you added in the tree there. Fillet, it was I guess it was a break corner. I guess he did it with a break corner there. I for some reason it looked like that fillet there was being created with okay, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I thought I saw something. You know how SolidWorks can sometimes make your fillets with splines instead of arcs? It uses that curvature continuous as a fillet profile. I thought I saw that for some reason. I just wanted to make sure you didn't have that. I know when that setting gets stuck on, it can be really frustrating. I guess if it was on, though, he wouldn't have gotten the correct mess anyway, so... Not trying to not trying to give secret tips to a SolidWorks user or anything. I've just seen SolidWorks do that, and it just makes you crazy when it does that. It's kind of like the software being buggy more than anything. Guys, what a match. Phil, what did you think about that? It took my breath away. They were going so fast.
I mean, I always joke about this, I think, when I host, but I've always thought about wanting to get on here, and then I see these guys, and I'm like, man, I'm a jack of all trades. I'm not definitely an expert in any of them. And these guys, when it comes to design, are by far the top, the cream. I'm speechless. I don't think I could have. I could have got probably 2 bends and that's it. And then these guys were done.
Yeah, to put together a model like that of that complexity in just, I think it was maybe 5 minutes. Man, so impressive from both of our runners. Congratulations to both of our runners. Guys, put a GG in the chat for Dom. But, of course, put a GG in the chat for Neil Z as well. That is super impressive. And, wow, wow, wow. Good job, Dom. Dom earns his first point. If you can earn 2 points here today in these matches, you will win a 3D printer. And thank you to our prize sponsor, Prusa, who's putting up prizes for our top 4. If you can win 2 battles today, 2 points today, you're going to move on to the final 4. And here we go, guys. Back to the Wheel of Fate. Shake it off a little bit. Neil, we've all been there. Don't worry about it, bro. You were going super fast there, and you're going against one of the fastest in the world. And so, Dom, this tournament, Dom came to win. I could tell even in his last match. I'm not saying that in the past that he was like phoning it in or anything, but he just seems like he's so much. This is the most focused I've ever seen Dom in a tournament, and I've seen him in 4 or 5 tournaments. So He is very focused here, so you got a tough battle coming up here, Neil. Rockcrawler thinks it's going to be 23. 3D Hub 21. J Miles 23. Guntis 21. Jim U 24. And Kapil 21. Atse says 21. Dying on that hill. Ludwig 23. Very nice. Bogdan 25. Kapil 21. Het Patel 24. Kapil 21. Okay, got it. Yep, Kapil 21. We got it. Don't worry, we got it, buddy. Miguel 24. Don thinks it's going to be 24. And Guillerme thinks it's going to be 24. And Victor K 21. And Ustrel 21. And Kipper 25. Let's see what the wheel has in store. What do you think it's going to be, Phil?
I gotta go back with the original. You know, you gotta go 21.
21.
You have to go 21, right?
All right, I'm gonna shuffle it again. Here we go. Shuffle, 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 and spin. I try not to look at it after I shuffle it. I try to just random shuffle it and let it rip.
I mean, it's only 3. There's only so much shuffling or juggling, as you could say, could be done.
Yes. Okay. Well, here we go into the next challenge here. So congratulations to Dom earning that point, and we're going to see drawing number 24. Thank you so much to the Wheel of Fate. Thank you to Plasticity for sponsoring the Wheel of Fate. And let's move on now to our next challenge. And perhaps you could tell us just a little bit more about, whoops, sorry about that, Phil. Perhaps you could tell us just a little bit more about these runners.
Yeah, no problem. So you got Dom, of course. Ratio is not ideal when it comes to desired hobbies and income. So, I mean, I don't know if that means the guy who's looking to love what he does or make money, right? I've always had the saying that if you love what you do, charge double, right? But outside of that, he has been in manufacturing for his entire adult career. Now, outside of that, on the Neil side of things, he is a FTC team captain. That's awesome.
Nice.
I can relate. Captain of hockey back in my day. Also, world championship. So that's great to see. A robo sub captain and mechanical lead internship semifinalist. So that's crazy. I mean, this guy's just
impressive.
stacking manufacturing, not only skills and trophies and awards, but he makes me look terrible because I was really good at hockey and now I'm just a machinist that takes the shoes off to count to 20.
Wow. Well, he is bringing it, man, and what an honor to have him in here in this tournament. And man, if he could win the World Championship of 3D CAD speed modeling, that would be yet another title to add to his list, his impressive list. So good luck, guys. Everybody lock in. Yep, Zayden in the chat says lock in. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Good luck to everybody here who's watching, and good luck. We got Andre in the chat. What's up, my friend? I saw your comment in the on that Fusion video I made, and I thought to myself, what, you know Fusion too? That's awesome. So great to see you in here again. And that's awesome, man. Andre thinks it's going to be 21. I don't know if that's what it's going to be, but congratulations. And here we go, guys. Shake it off a little bit. Shake off all the nerves. This is the big one. If Dom can win this one, he moves on to our final 4, and he wins a 3D printer. If Neil can win this one, then we all win because we all get to see a third match. Here we go. Ready, Phil?
I'm ready, man. I just super pumped again.
Yeah.
I can't thank you guys enough for having me here.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for chiming in and putting up your hand. This is great. It's so much better with a co-commentator. So thank you. Thank you. And this next CAD battle between Dom, our number 10 seed from the United States running SolidWorks, and Neil Z, our number 3 seed from the United States running Fusion, begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in xxx.x grams? The tolerance is plus or minus 0.3 grams. That rib is tangent to the arc. It's in millimeters, and it's in 1060 aluminum alloy. And here we go. Both of our runners already grabbed a screen capture, came up with a plan, and are beginning to model. I can't believe how fast they're able to do all that. And we can see here, we've got Dom on the left running SolidWorks. We've got Neil Z on the right running Fusion. This is a tier 5 model. This is a complicated model. A lot of dimensions on this print, a lot of things that could go wrong or could be mislocated. And both of our runners are trying to model this thing up. Interesting.
I'll do about the same on the start here. Definitely looking to do a top-down approach, it looks like.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to point fun at this, that if you were to get a part like this machined, I see a lot of corners that aren't technically manufacturable,
Yes,
but they
indeed.
are 3D printable, which
Ye-
is kind of a nice thing.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Yes, it is one of the challenges, right? When we're creating the prints, if we start putting in fillets to make it easier to manufacture, then we end up having like a much more difficult time, defining it. So yeah, it is one of the challenges. But here we see Dom was able to get through that kind of top-down view, that kind of top-down print here, looking over this thing, was able to get those circles into the right place. It looks like both of our competitors recognize that those circles are not horizontal to one another. That could definitely be something that trips you up, but it looks like both of our runners saw that they were slightly off. A little bit tricky getting to the location of that circle, that main centered circle, but it looks like both of our runners were able to come up with that correct dimension to get to the center of that. So that was very impressive as well. You have to do a little bit of math there on the fly. And it looks like Dom drawing first blood and then immediately extruding a second feature. It was a really fast use and reuse of that sketch. And wow. Dom able to get through there. It looks like he ran into a little bit of an error there on that sketch, but Neil Z is hot on his heels. Got his entire sketch there kind of laid out. We've seen this so many times with Fusion users where they lay out the whole thing and you look away for a second, you look back, and the model looks like it's almost done. And it looks like Neil may be cutting down that path again as well.
Now, I've always been curious about this because I'm not an avid SolidWorks user, but that being said, can you actually do math inside the input fields?
Yes. Yep.
That's great. So
yeah,
I mean, same in Fusion's world. When you got to do math on the actual fly, a lot of people overlook the fact you could just type in your equations. However, I don't know, is on Fusion's side, it's built in the European style math, which is a left to right workflow, not orders of operations, if that makes sense. Like US math.
That's interesting. I don't know that I've taken it that far. I know that it supports the use of parentheses. So if you're getting that complicated, I mean, usually I'm just doing it for like a /2. So I'm not.
I get you. Well, yeah, radius versus diameter, baby, all day.
Exactly. Exactly.
It is funny because being somebody that does teach CAD classes for manufacturing is the old habits of the /2 versus a right-click radius versus diameter in Fusion is, I've always said it's more mouse clicks. So which one is right?
Wow, look at Dom actually like brought in the picture on top of his screen there for a second. That was pretty interesting. I think that was, I don't know if that was a misclick or if that was a feature. That was really interesting. But Dom creating kind of those final circular bosses that are sticking up. Meanwhile, Neil, you can see Neil is going through and looks like he's trying to battle with that rib and get that rib to work. And we may be seeing an answer coming into the chat here. We're watching the chat. And Dom comes in with an answer, 934 grams. And that is not correct. That is not correct. So Dom has now used one of his answers. Dom has used one of his answers, and it's going to be up to Dom here to try to come up with the correct answer. And we're watching the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat here. We're keeping an eye out for potentially Dom to come in with the second answer. We're keeping an eye out for Neil to come in with his first answer. Remember, you can answer incorrectly once. If you answer incorrectly a second time, then that is going to be it. And it looks like Neil realized that his mirror was not complete. It looks like he's trying to mirror again here, trying to figure out what the issue is. Meanwhile, Dom is frantically trying to go through and figure out maybe what was off. And he's probably a little bit nervous, but Dom comes in with his second answer here. His second answer is 914 grams, and that is not correct. 915 grams, that is not correct. And so now Dom has entered in both of his answers, and that unfortunately means that Dom is not able to earn this point, and we get to bring up the Clock of Doom. So the way the Clock of Doom works now is Neil has 5 minutes to come up with the correct answer. Neil has not answered yet, so he can answer incorrectly one time. And Neil now needs to come up with the mass of this model. He's not answered yet at all, unless I missed his answer, but I was watching pretty close. Neil has not answered yet, so we're going to let Neil now look at his model. He's going to look at the drawing. It alleviates a little bit of the stress here. And
I've seen him copy it once already, and I think as soon as he was waiting for Dom to figure out if he can use this as a cushion to guarantee a win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is now, you know, we can see that Neil Z is doing the spin. The nice thing is that Neil has a little bit of the pressure off because he can answer twice incorrectly. So, you know, that lets him, it alleviates the pressure a little bit, but, you know, you don't want to burn off a bad answer for no reason either. We're looking for the answer in xxx.x grams. xxx.x grams. Matab in the chat asking, why isn't he answering? Matab is getting mad. And Neil comes in to the chat with an answer, 717.6 grams, and that is correct. And congratulations to Neil Z, taking down his first point here in the Elite 8 of the 2025 World Championship. And that means we all win because we get to go to a third battle here, Phil. You are good luck. I'm glad that you joined. And wow, wow, wow. I was reading the chat there. It looks like maybe Dom just misclicked something. He might have, he said he typed something in that was one key over. So as he was going through there, it sounds like he's saying...
Not to cut you off real quick. Neil, did you just close out your file and everything? I did want to point out that there was a couple of things you did. It's all right if you did close it out. Is he actually... I think his brain changed halfway through where he realized the part was symmetrical, and he did cut the part down the center using his origin plane and mirror crossed. But there was something else I was going to point out in his sketches that would have haunted him, but it was tangencies between lines and circles. I was waiting to see if that was going to bite him, but when he did the cut body mirror, it saved him because it was on the bad side of his part.
Oh, interesting. Wow. So a little bit of luck there. Got a little bit lucky there. That's interesting. Well, that is very cool, and that's how this tournament goes sometimes, you know. We definitely end up seeing luck playing a factor here, and that's what I like about it. So, GG to Neil earning that point, and GG to Dom as well. Both of those guys, again, another Tier 5 model. Not easy to model these parts, and these guys are getting through these in 5, 6, 7 minutes. That is really, really impressive. So, wow, wow, wow. Congratulations, and welcome to everybody who's just tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button on this live stream. We've got 156 people in here watching, and let's see what we've got as far as number of likes. We got 83 likes. Let's see what we can do to get that up a little bit closer to our number of viewers. We're going to try and get that ratio to 1-to-1. So if you're out there watching, hit the like button, and hey, don't forget to take a screen or take the URL, drop it into your chat, send it out to your local chat group, send it out to your friends, your family, everybody. Send it to your aunt. Say, hey, you
got to get grandma in the nursing home watching with all of her
Send it to grandma. Yeah. Depending where you are in the world, if it's Friday night, tell them at the bar that they got to put it on the main screen. Okay. Turn off the football match and turn.
Well, I was laughing about that earlier about the dome in Vegas. Toby, aren't you up in the Detroit area?
No, we're outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia. Well, we definitely got to get that put up on the old Megatron or the Jumbotron, right?
Yeah, the Jumbotron. That's what we need. Yeah, we got to do it at the Spectrum.
Well, I mean, I'm a hockey fan, so if we can get it during a Chicago versus Pittsburgh hockey game,
yeah.
I mean,
well, we would be the Flyers.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Don't talk about the Penguins out here. Just kidding. I haven't watched hockey like in a long time, so I'll probably just reference a bunch of old, you know. You guys see Eric Lindros this season? He's really crushing.
Ty Domi still plays?
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, listen. It's a coin flip. So let's shuffle this thing and let's see what happens. Here we go. Shuffle, 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 and spin. I'm so glad we're going to a third match between these guys. Dom is so fast. Neil Z is so fast. And this seems like a fitting way for them to figure out who's going to win the printer.
Oh! Hey, she snuck her in there. Let's go.
And even that was exciting. Even the selection of the match is exciting. This is so cool.
It'd be funny if the animation was changed out from a wheel to a quarter when you're down to 2.
Yeah.
Like a head.
That's what
head
they need.
Tails flip.
Yeah. This super patented proprietary technology that we're using here. All right, guys. Here we go. These guys are so awesome. Phil, I'm going to go take a quick bio break because I've been slamming the coffee. So
Yep.
maybe you could just tell us a little bit more about these runners and give them some advice.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. So it looks like we got Dom up again. As you guys can see, another camping, fishing, hiking, building things. I mean, he's going to be building things if he wins this 3D printer, not to jinx him or anything. But outside of that, you know, he's also been in manufacturing his entire career. Dom, I would love at some point, I would love to have you on my YouTube channel, nonetheless, to talk more into that as well. Started using SolidWorks in 2019. That's great. I'm still curious to know what is the best state possible. Dom, if you're watching this live also, throw that in chat and I'll be glad. Actually, you are out there in chat. Dom, throw it in chat. What is this best state that you talk of? But outside of that, we also have Neil. As you guys know, he has such a rap sheet of just nothing but good and success. So I would say, though, I mean, he is a freshman mechanical engineer, possibly looking for a job here in a few years. I do have to also mention on my end that I'm originally from Iowa, and UW, it's only about an hour from my house. But oh man, what kind of advice would I give somebody about CAD, even though I'm more of a CAM expert? I mean, at the end of the day, I've probably said it over the last couple of times I've been here hosting is, one, you don't have to trim anything. Two, the Ivan export is probably one of my favorite things out there because putting a hole on something, unless your surface is tapered, doesn't really make a difference, right? But third would be is, honestly, both softwares are so close that you got to treat it like modeling clay. And if it was me looking back on the sheet metal part, I would approve a concept long before I would have been slamming all of my precise dimensions in, because both softwares allow the ability to go back and edit your timeline or change your history.
Well said.
Thanks, buddy. Dom, you're in North Dakota. You're up by me, buddy. We might have to have this guy live up at my place. Dom, I'm going to get with you after this, man.
Yeah, isn't that what you guessed? Didn't you guess North Dakota?
Well, I'm in North Dakota. That's why it's the best state possible.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, guys. Well, listen, this seems like a very fitting way to wind down the match. It's all down to this one single match. Who will move on to the Final Four? Who will win a 3D printer? This is so cool. Thank you all so much for being here with us. If you're enjoying this live stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, sign up for Practice Models Premium. And guys, good luck to Dom. Good luck to Neil. It's been really fun watching you guys battle it out. I almost hate to see it end, but all good things, right? Here we go. This next CAD battle featuring Dom, our number 10 seed from the United States, running SolidWorks, and Neil Z, our number 3 seed from the United States, running Fusion, begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? The tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram. This part is in millimeters. It's 1060 aluminum, and it is called Hex Quad Plate. Good luck to both of our runners. This looks like some kind of a custom part that you would use in some type of a manufacturing process. We've got Dom on the left running SolidWorks. We got Neil Z on the right running Fusion. They've both looked at this drawing for the very first time. They've both come up with a game plan. They've both jumped into their CAD system and started their first features. Dom drawing first blood with that circular extrusion. Neil Z taking more of a layout approach. We saw him do this last time for the win, so he's sticking with what worked last time. Very, very interesting.
Very, very crazy to see this go, and I'm very interested to see how Neil's going to handle what I assume. Now, I assume that it is a semi-patterned kind of part, right? Oh, there he goes. He's already into it. All right. Now I'm curious to see how Dom does it on the SolidWorks
looks like,
side.
yeah, looks like Neil went with a sketch pattern there. Interesting.
He did, and that's, I don't know. I don't think it's going to bite him.
Okay.
Again, these people pull it out of nowhere, and they all of a sudden you got something, right?
It's so interesting to see how they're able to come up with the plan and then execute the plan. And they do it so quickly. Like even right now, I would still be looking at the drawing and I would be like, all right, here's where my first sketch is going to be. And these guys are
I'd have to walk into the other room and deal with my broken paper printer to try to get a copy of it to bring it back over.
Yeah, start marking it up. Wow, so this is really cool. So this model, this Hex hex quad plate. It features some, some thin wall geometry in the underside as well. So there is kind of a cutout on the underside. You can't really see it here in this isometric view, but if you roll back in the video, you can see it on the print. And definitely some interesting geometry here. And Dom, I thought it was really interesting that Dom, in his game plan, decided to basically to model it 45 degrees off from how it's shown in the drawing. And I wonder if he decided that it would maybe be easier to create that first feature that he created, that the feature that Neil is now working on in almost like a standard orthogonal layout. So really appreciate his ability to plan that out. But wow, look at Neil Z. He's already got that feature in place now. He's already got that patterned, and he moved through that thing pretty quickly. He was able to get that pattern and get those little notches there. But now Dom has that same feature done. Wow.
I think it's going to come down to the hollow profile, honestly. At this point, I know there's some tricks inside of Fusion to achieve that, but I think we're getting close.
Yeah, we're going to see how these guys handle this final feature, without we don't want to spoil it or anything. We just want to let them kind of solve through it. This is so close. Victor K in the chat says neither of these guys are doing what I would have done. This is so interesting. Wow, this is truly two masters here working through this. I can't wait to see how this one turns out.
It's crazy. It's pretty wild to see. Just like, I always laugh because when I teach classes on this stuff, I always make people come up and show how they did it.
Hold on, and Neil Z comes in with an answer. 705 grams. That is not correct. That is not correct. 705 grams. That is not correct. So Neil Z has now used one of his two available answers. You can answer incorrectly once, and then you can go through and you can attempt to figure out what you did wrong. Neil Z answers 705 grams. That is not correct.
Okay. I'd have a curiosity. If you want to pull that drawing back up real quick, I think I know what he's missing.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and wait this out till the end.
Yeah, exactly. So Neil Z looks like maybe he's identified what's going on, and it looks like Dom is hitting a little bit of a new strategy. So we're going to see what Dom ends up coming up with here for his strategy.
I definitely know the technique Neil's going for here, and it's definitely one of those things that I think he's going to be shocked because there might be a tool inside the software he's unaware of.
Okay, and Dom comes in with an answer, 807 grams. That is not correct, or 808 grams. That is not correct. So both of our runners here now have answered one time incorrectly. That is not correct. So both of our runners have answered one time incorrectly. And so now it's going to be up to our runners to go through to try to figure out what they did that was incorrect and potentially. And Neil Z comes in with an answer, 725 grams. And that is correct. And congratulations to Neil Z. A hard-fought battle. Wow, 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 against one of the best in the tournament scene. Neil Z versus Dom, a true battle for the ages. Wow, wow, wow. What a battle. And Fusion Phil, a man of his word, comes in with some more gift subs. Wow, thank you, Phil. Thank you so much for those gift subs. Guys, if you want to grab those gift subs, that'll get you access to some exclusive content on the channel. And Neil Z, congratulations. And Dom, a well-fought battle, a heartbreaker, and taking it all the way to 3 matches. Man, that is so awesome from both of our runners. Oh, my goodness. Wow, 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 guys. Congratulations. GG to the winner. But, guys, let's give a huge good game GG to all of our runners today, to Dom and to MrAlex and to Neil Z and to Max. GG to both of our runners. Fusion sweeping again and locking up 2 seats in the Final Four. Wow. Guys, what a series of battles today. Congratulations, Max on winning your spot in the Final Four and winning a 3D printer. Congratulations to Neil Z on winning your spot in the Final Four and winning a 3D printer. Man, and I think Jim, you said it best in the chat. Taking on Dom is respect. A new speed demon is born. Wow, man, that was so intense. And the correct answer for that one was 725 grams plus or minus 1 gram. Cool model. Very cool model there. Guys, I got to say thank you so much to all our tournament sponsors. Don't forget, if you see these guys on social media, show them some love. Say thank you so much for sponsoring the Too Tall Toby tournament. It means so much to us. We really enjoy the tournament. It's a lot of fun out here. And thank you to our prize sponsor, Prusa. Thank you to our Wheel of Fate sponsor, Plasticity. Thank you to Blue Byte, CADOp.io, Solidbox, and Xometry. Awesome sponsors. Thank you to all of you out there, the amazing chat crew. You guys are great. If you ever want to hang out with us on Discord, look for the link. The link is on the Too Tall Toby website. If you ever want to do this yourself, if you want to compete yourself and test your skills, check out tootalltoby.com. We've got a library of over 200 of these 3D CAD challenges. You can sort them based on the type of challenge you want to do and based on the difficulty level that you think you're ready for. So I could say, I want to look at a tier 4 3D printable model. And then we could go in here and we could look at this model here. Whoops, lost you there, Phil. I'll get you back in just a second. Go in here, we could look at one of these models like this one here, and then we could try to, 3D print this thing. Or we could try to model this thing up so that we could 3D print it. So if you want to compete against the clock, check it out. tootalltoby.com is the website. And Phil, let's see if we can get you back in here in a good size.
Oh, it's all good. Everybody got to see my luscious hairline. There we go.
It looks good.
I can stand back up. I wanted to get out of the way.
It looks good. There we go.
Am I in? Am I out? There we go. Centered.
We did it.
Hey.
We're doing this all on the fly, and we're making it work. We got the most amazing production team ever. So, guys, check it out, tootalltoby.com if you haven't been there before. Don't forget to hit the like button before you leave. And, of course, the Super Chat is still open. Jim coming in with NOK 100. Thank you so much, my friend. Great models, and what a show of masters in modeling. Yeah, fantastic competition today. So awesome. Congratulations. Jim Bob is in the chat, says, greetings from Ireland. Hello. Welcome, welcome. All right, and guys, I think that's it. We're going to live stream on Monday. Officially, we're scheduled to. I don't know if we're going to or not. We might skip it on Monday. It's going to be a busy week. I got to teach on Monday also. So we'll see what happens on Monday if we're going to live stream Model Monday Live. But if we don't, we will definitely be back next Friday. And next Friday, we continue our round in this Elite 8. So congratulations to everyone who made it through into the Elite 8. Next Friday, we get to see Sebastian versus Atse in our first match. And then Matab versus Ricardo Jean. It's going to be some really good models. It's going to be some really good modeling. Can't wait to see what happens. Phil, thank you so much for jumping in, for supporting. Dude, it's been awesome hanging out with you again. It's been great to see you again.
Dude, it's been a blast, but I do have to ask a couple of things real quick. Do we have anybody that is going to take the championship under 2 separate CAD softwares?
Wow. Well, we have not yet had a single person even win twice. So that's kind of the first thing to get over. And then, then I think we definitely need to see somebody, come in with SolidWorks and win, and then come in with Fusion and win, Well,
I mean, Dom's got one under his belt, right?
Dom has not won a tournament yet.
He is not. He's been in the finals. We'll have to wait, Dom, before we convert you to the Fusion dark side.
Yeah, he's been in the finals, but he's not yet won the tournament. The only 2 people on the board here who have won the tournament are Matab and Ricardo Jean, and they're going to actually battle each other next week.
That's right. Battle of the Titans.
Battle of the Champions, yeah. So, our qualification board this year at tootalltoby.com, our qualification board was so rich this year. So if you go to tootalltoby.com and then you go to tournaments, tournament page, and then it says qualify for free. It's you can't really qualify anymore, but you can see the qualification board. You can see here that Matab created 3 models in 2 minutes and 21 seconds, and you can watch the video here. And that was only good enough for 5th place. 5th seed in this tournament. That's how fast our runners are going. So this time here, 1 minute 46 seconds from Sebastian, that was 3 models, fully constrained, calculating the correct mass, and he even posted a video of proof of it. Ricardo Jean 148, Neil Z 152. So these guys were within 6 seconds of each other. It's incredible. Gray 214 and then Matab 221. So because of that, Matab ended up in that bracket with Ricardo Jean, and that's why we end up getting to see them battling each other next week. Incredible.
This is getting down to the wire where you gotta have like a gaming mouse for low latency. You gotta live near Pennsylvania to get that ping, right? Like that's crazy how close this is getting.
It's all gonna matter. Every little fraction of a second is gonna matter. So, guys, good luck. Max had a question, why no battle on the 17th? We're taking a break so we can get ready for the semifinals and the finals. Yep, so we take a break. And we're going to actually be traveling for PDX during that time period as well. So, visit us at PDX if you happen to be in Arizona. Max, I know, is in Denmark, but if you want to fly to Arizona, hang out with us in person, you can definitely come to Arizona from Denmark. So, guys, thank you all so much. It's been amazing. It's been amazing hanging out with everybody. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. Get outside, enjoy the fresh air before it gets too cold. It's starting to get kind of chilly out here. So enjoy these last couple of weekends before it starts to get too cold. And I look forward to seeing everybody in, I guess, next week sometime. Either next week on Monday at Model Monday Live or next week on Friday at the tournament. I look forward to seeing all you guys next week in another live stream. Thanks again so much, Phil. Thanks for all the subscriptions, too. That's so awesome. I really appreciate that. It really helps the channel as well. And, guys, we will see all of you next time. See you, everybody.